Keeping it 200.
200 mph.
Oh, no, I wish I never said that. There's an old saying, too, that when you're born here, but your roots are over there, it's like, ni de aquí, ni de allá. Yeah. But for us, it's like, let's flip it. You know, there's 200%er, let's own it. I'm 100% Latino. I'm 100% American.
200 mph.
¿Qué pasó, bro?
¿Qué pasó, bro?
We're here.
We're here with very special guests today.
Hey.
We're very lucky, very honored to have our good friend,
Yes.
DJ Lezlee.
Happy to be here, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for pulling
It's
up.
my honor.
Man,
You guys
no,
are
I mean,
awesome.
no, I think, you know, and this is like episode 2, so this is reaching for the stars, and we got it right away.
Yeah.
So thank you, Lezlee. But I guess it works out, right? You're always on the go.
Yeah.
You're kind of like on your way somewhere else right now, so we took advantage that you had time and made it work. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Happy
you
to be here.
for being here.
You guys are always a great time. Conversation's always great. So
Thank you. We're here to inspire,
Yes.
right? So what's going on with you? What's
course.
new? What's the word?
So the word is I'm actually going to be launching a podcast pretty soon.
Okay.
We're, you know, beginning stages, but it's the most excited that I've been about a project in a long time.
Yeah. What
So-
is the? Can we tell people? I know it because we talked about it. We're
Right.
gonna work with you. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna make it the hottest podcast in the world.
Literally.
Hottest.
That's right.
Stay
Quite
tuned for
literally.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what do you want to do with it? I know you have access to a bunch of amazing people in the entertainment industry, in the nightlife world. What's kind of your idea behind what you're trying to get going?
So my idea right now is, I'm sure if you guys follow me on Instagram, I'm very into my fitness, very into my, mental, physical health.
Yep.
So I'm trying to bring all my worlds together, my entertainment, my music, my health, fitness. So my podcast is going to be, it's going to take place during a hiking session with my guest. Whoever
Oh
my
my
guest of
goodness.
the podcast is that day, we're going to be outside getting dirty.
Outside, y'all.
You
We
know?
outside.
Outside. And then
I don't
you
know if
got
your guests
us.
are gonna be able to keep up.
Right. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep
Yeah.
I know. Your guests
That's a
and the
question.
camera crew. We're gonna be like, we're gonna take maybe one corner and then be like, all right, this is done. We found a
Listen,
place to set up.
After season 1, all of you are gonna be 6-packed out. Okay.
Love it. We're gonna go see your nutritionist.
Yes.
We're gonna be all right. Dope. So I wanted to ask you, you're in the music world.
Yeah.
Real 92.3, nightlife. So radio, nightlife, mega DJ, everywhere it seems like now. There was a big announcement this week because the NFL is back, baby. Who's your team, by the way?
49. No. Did I say 49ers?
You're a
Bad.
Niners fan?
Wow.
Hold on. I'm not really a football fan. First of all,
Wow.
Rams.
You said the 49ers.
Listen, that's how much of a football fan I am not.
Well, you were just thinking and it came out, 49ers? Or what?
Growing up, I think I was really into like players.
Yeah.
Like
Jerry Rice.
Yeah, Jerry Rice. Like I was a
Montana.
fanatic of athletes, not
Okay.
really teams.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I said 49ers. But
But
no,
it's
it's
fair
Rams
too,
house.
though. It's fair, though, because in LA, we didn't have a team for so long.
Yeah, you're right. We didn't.
So we were like, okay, do I go for the Raiders? Do I go for the 49ers? Like, and I think
Chargers.
the Chargers. I think that's why, too, like a lot of homies in LA are like
So
spread out with their
yeah.
team choices from different cities. And you look at it like, what? You're a Steelers fan, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy because I'm not that
Eagles?
into football either, but I think it's for that reason because we didn't have a team for so long. So I
Right.
just wasn't checking for it when I was younger.
And so
That's-
many people I know are like Cowboys fans. I'm like, what are you,
Yeah,
what are you
that's
talking
exactly.
about?
I'm,
Why?
so
like,
I'm
how?
Yeah, exactly. How?
How?
All over the
So-
place. My brother's an Eagles fan. I don't even know where they're from. He just always
Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yeah,
Okay.
Philadelphia. But to get to that point too, I'm a Rams fan too
Okay.
because now that they're back in LA, when they came back, I like bought a jersey. I like got, I committed. I said, this is my
Yeah,
team.
I love that.
We're here. So
Same. I
go
committed.
Rams.
Go
LA
Rams.
everything.
But
LA everything.
Yeah,
LA all
period.
day. Speaking of LA all day and the NFL, big announcement. Kendrick Lamar is doing the halftime show.
Yes.
How do we feel about that?
Iconic. I
Big
think it's
time.
so great. I think he did the work. He had an
Yeah.
amazing year, an amazing few months, really.
Bro, amazing
Yeah.
summer.
Amazing.
Amazing summer, man.
He literally killed it.
Yeah, he did.
Killed someone.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's you know, it's gonna be huge. I mean, I think it's like, I mean, how many viewers does the halftime show get at the Super Bowl?
It's
gotta
worldwide.
be it's worldwide. It's millions. I mean, there's no bigger event to watch on that Sunday afternoon than the Super Bowl. You're watching it because two teams are playing, and
Right.
it doesn't really matter who. You're gonna watch no matter what. You're gonna watch it because you have the best TV commercials at that time, the funniest ones that go viral, right? And then you watch it for the Super Bowl show. Like last year was Usher, insane,
Killed
Insane.
it. Yeah.
So
Dr. Dre, Kendrick
So
actually
good.
came
Oh,
out
yeah.
when Dr. Dre did his.
Oh, Kendrick did come
Yeah,
out.
you're
That's
right.
So
Wow.
he already has the preparation. He
He has
knows
the preparation.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What do you think Kendrick's gonna do at the Super Bowl? Is he
That's a-
gonna like continue his summer, I guess, concept and keep bodying a
Yeah.
Canadian rapper? Or, I'm excited about it.
I don't know if he's gonna go that route.
Catalog
I
of hits
think, I
and
think it'll
everything.
probably be
A little
some
bit
new
of both?
music. I think a little bit. Well, for sure he's gonna do the catalog because you have to, right? It's
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Is he bringing anybody out?
That's a good question. Should
That's
bring
a
all
good
the
question,
TDE,
too.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TDE, SZA. He has a
Yeah.
few songs with
SZA,
SZA.
he'll for sure bring out SZA.
Right. Maybe he'll bring Janet Jackson out. You know, he redid.
Oh,
he
with Scoop
sampled
DeVille.
Oh, yeah.
Poetic
Yeah.
Justice.
With
is
Scoop
a-
DeVille, yeah, that'd be
Uh-huh.
fire. That would be a good one.
Baby Keem, his cousin.
Baby Keem,
That's his
gotta
cousin?
bring Keem
That's his
out.
cousin. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
family.
We're not. Do we have any rapper cousins? I mean,
Not that I know of.
we have an actor cousin. I guess
do.
it makes sense. We're in the media world, so it kind of makes sense.
Uh-huh. That's
you know?
pretty cool.
But it'd be
He's
nice to
been
have
in
a
a
rapper
couple
cousin.
halftime commercials too.
He has been in a couple
Dang.
halftime
Verizon,
commercials.
I think it was a Verizon
Go
one.
Primo.
Verizon. It's random too because we'll watch the Super Bowl and be like,
Shout out
"Oh,
to
dude,
Jay.
that's my cousin." It's like, what the fuck, you know?
What's
it's
his
kinda
name?
Cool. His name's Jonathan Pichardo.
Jay
Okay.
Pichardo.
Jay
Goes-
Pichardo. Yeah, he's dope.
That's really cool.
He's coming. He's coming for y'all.
Yeah.
He's coming.
Latinos are up.
We're up. We
Okay.
are up. But dude, so do you think Jay-Z's behind this? Obviously, he makes
Right.
the decisions, right?
He's
who
part of the
gets-
board.
Do you think Jay-Z's gonna censor and be like, "Yo, fam, we gotta this is corporate. We gotta tone down the messaging here," or do you think he's gonna give him the full menu and be like, "Do whatever you want"?
I think he's gonna say do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Kendrick feels like he has a really good head on his shoulders. Like he means business. You know, he's not
Yeah.
out here playing games. I think
Yeah. He's very strategic.
very strategic.
Like
Yeah.
he says so much by staying out of the riffraff and the daily media nonsense, like the Twitter fingers, the
Right.
posting things you don't need to post. But then when you see him or he comes out with something, it's like, holy shit.
It's like he says so much, saying so little.
Exactly.
Like less is more with Kendrick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a saying: the loudest person in the room has the least to say." So
I like
feel-
that.
Yeah,
I mean, whenever he does say something, that just makes it so much more impactful.
Yes.
that too.
well,
Yeah.
okay, so DJ Lezlee, radio DJ, biggest station in LA,
Yes.
Real 92.3.
Yep.
iHeartMedia. You do the PM Drive show right now?
I do the weekends.
The weekends?
So I do the
Okay.
weekends, and I
Occasionally do the
Occasionally,
evening drive,
yeah,
PM
evening drive, uh-huh.
So the PM Drive is like 12 to 7, I think? Or
no, it's 2 to 7.
2 to 7.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 2 to 7 p.m.
7.
That's Monday through Friday. That's a prime time kind of slot. In LA, millions of cars on the road.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody's listening. You know the songs of the summer. You know what was popular. We're talking about Drake. We're talking about Kendrick. Who had the bigger record?
Oh my God, absolutely. You mean between Kendrick and Drake?
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
You
Good
cannot
answer.
deny.
West Coast,
if you are on a Kendrick Lamar hate train, you are delusional.
Yeah.
Okay, because there is no way that Kendrick Lamar did not have one of the songs of the summer.
Took
for
the
sure.
summer, in my
Oh my
opinion.
God.
Took it. It was
He
it.
had a whole pop out concert like. Streamed on
Monumental.
Apple, monumental. Like
Yeah.
the entire world
Yeah.
was tapped in
For sure.
to those like 2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks, right? Of like the disses that were happening.
Probably more, no?
No,
Maybe
it was more
It was
because
like a month, I think.
No, it was more because the original one came out in January. It feels like a long time
The
because
original one? Which one was that one?
like that record, Metro Boomin and Future.
Oh.
That was the one that popped it
Was
off
that January?
because that's when Kendrick took the shot.
Well,
Got it.
it dropped during Rolling Loud
Right.
weekend.
And then it took about a month and a half for it to like start moving. So maybe like March, it really popped off. And then it took Kendrick like a month to respond. So it really started happening like late spring. So it feels like a short amount of time, but it's crazy.
I think they dropped it at Rolling Loud LA. That was in March.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. The Kendrick one.
The Future and Kendrick.
okay.
Or was that March? I feel like that was
I think January's too early. Everybody's checked out.
It was definitely March.
Probably March.
Because it was Rolling Loud weekend when it dropped.
Like
and everybody went crazy.
Yeah.
All right,
so I got my timeline wrong.
All right, then Team Kendrick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Killed it. But
and not just, I mean, obviously LA, born and raised.
Yeah.
But you just can't deny like
the impact.
The impact, I mean, every diss that he put out was 10-10.
Yeah.
You
know? You got people in the club,
he was,
screaming out, A minor. You know?
All over the world.
Wild work, bro. Dude, what if everybody does that at the Super Bowl? Dude.
Insane.
Oh, he's going to.
You think so?
For sure.
I don't know.
I think that's what Jay-Z draws the line. He's like, okay, fam. Like, once you get to that, you got to slam into the next record. No?
I think it's going to happen, and I think that'll officially kill Drake.
Okay. I'm glad you think this is funny.
So, agreed. Team Kendrick. But then, so, in the DJ world, this summer was hot. Clubs, brunches. Another song that we saw that was like super, super like catching momentum and gave Kendrick, I think, a run for its money was Tinashe, Nasty Girl.
Yes.
Nasty Girl?
Nasty.
Yeah, it's Nasty Girl.
Nasty,
Nasty
yeah.
Girl.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty, dude. Fun record.
Yeah.
I even catch myself singing it sometimes.
I've
Sometimes
been
I
a
wanna
nasty girl. You what?
Sometimes I want to do the TikTok dance.
What is it?
I don't even know.
He knows it.
Girl, nasty. I've been a nasty girl, nasty.
Stop lying,
I don't know.
bro.
I do it in the mirror every morning.
Producer Brian, come on.
Yeah.
But no, so yeah,
in
no,
his
so I
bag.
think, I mean, so Tinashe or
Yeah.
the Kendrick record?
Oh man, that's a hard one because I think Kendrick. They're both great records. I
Yeah.
think we got a little bit of we got a lot out of both records. I think Tinashe record was fun. It's sexy. It's catchy. And the Kendrick record, you know, it had you feeling like a G. Like it had you, dancing. It had you wanting to crip walk. You know
Made
what I'm
you
saying?
tough.
I don't know how
Oh,
to crip
for
walk,
sure.
but I definitely want to learn after.
For sure. Bro, when I saw that the pop out live on YouTube, I think we were watching it.
Yeah.
We all got so much FOMO of just wanting to jump on that stage afterwards. Like, damn, like every cool kid was on there, you know? You're like, damn, I'm a loser. I'm not even cool enough to
I'm
be
nobody.
in the building.
Damn. Yeah. No, shout out to DJ Head.
Yeah?
From LA. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He was on stage. I think he DJ'd.
He opened
He
the
opened,
show.
right?
Oh, he
Yeah.
did?
He
Wow,
opened
that's
the show.
dope.
Yeah, he opened and
The whole show was fire.
Yeah,
From
it
beginning
was.
to
Oh my
Kendrick's set. Like,
God.
it was fire.
The
you know?
energy, you could just
Yeah.
from the screen, from like your couch, you could feel the energy of that.
Yeah. We were here in the
that
studio. We were just
stadium.
like, did no work. We were
Yeah.
just like watching this thing like, hell yeah.
I think that was a lot of the
Yeah.
world was
Yeah.
just tapped in.
Yeah, he killed it, man. That was dope. Such an iconic moment for LA.
For LA, for hip hop, you
Yeah.
know,
hip hop,
man.
for hip hop.
And now we got the
Jeez.
Super Bowl coming.
And now we
so.
got the
Not
Super Bowl.
But dude, so then, in our opinion, I mean, like maybe we're biased because we're from LA, and it should have been the Kendrick Lamar record of the summer, maybe record of the year.
Yeah.
But then like the country scene, I think Shabuzi, if you guys have heard that song, is one of my favorite songs.
Tipsy, yeah.
Tipsy.
It's a fun
I
record.
think it was like officially like the #1 Billboard song for the summer, right?
Yeah, I think so. It held like a good 7 weeks, maybe.
Wow.
7
Something
weeks,
like
something
that,
like that.
yeah.
But like,
That's cool.
none of our friends know it, right? I think in LA,
Yeah.
maybe it's a different scene or something than the rest of the country. But so my question to you is, out there DJing, do you play country music?
Yeah, totally.
Do you think it makes sense that the country kind of scene is up there with being a #1 record across all genres?
Absolutely. I think, man, it's been such a like there have been so many cool changes happening in music.
Yeah.
Country being so mainstream now, like Stagecoach, they just announced the lineup and I want to go to Stagecoach.
Yeah.
And I've never wanted to go to Stagecoach in my life, but yeah, I mean they're killing it. You just can't deny it.
Especially with DJs getting involved too. Like shout out to Diplo, who
Diplo.
very in the country scene and does Coachella.
He has his own stage at Stagecoach.
He has his own stage?
Yeah, I think he has his
Wow.
own stage at the Stagecoach.
And it's like what, EDM country remixes?
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
more like a club. You know, it's probably more of a club vibe.
like the Morgan Wallen joint, the last night in like a club version.
Exactly. But he also plays a lot of like the throwbacks. He plays a lot of like EDM tracks. He's been doing it for a minute now because I've listened to a few of the sets from Stagecoach.
He's so dope. So does that mean you're gonna get to play like El Caballo Dorado in one of the club sets that you're doing?
That's a great idea. Somebody should make a remix.
Bro, let's go.
Let me go home and make a mashup right now.
No rompas más, mi pobre corazón. Yeah. I'm down, bro.
Jay Valentino, we need the English version.
We need the English version. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be stuck in my head now.
It's almost like reggaeton, right? It was so poppin' in like the early 2000s, and then it's obviously we saw what it did. It was like an explosion. I think that's where country is now.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time.
It's having its moment.
Lots of new talent.
Yeah.
A lot of great artists.
For sure.
And a lot of like cross blending of genres too. Cause like Shabuzi can easily do songs with, I think he has a song with Big X the Plug, who's a rapper out of Texas. Mm-hmm. And then he's got a lot of the songs on Beyonce's album. I think he had.
You're right.
He was like a writer too, right?
I think he wrote, or he had his hands in the Beyonce album, so he can do pop, country. He's all over the place, and I think that's dope. Like,
good for him. Yeah. How long has he been an artist? Do you guys know? I haven't really done my.
I just heard of him this year. Obviously, he's had a bing moment, but I'm sure a couple years, maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
he's killing it.
I think that's a very like important thing to talk about is these genres and how everything has its moment, but culturally and from a relevance standpoint, as a entertainer, a DJ, how important is it to consistently stay with those trends? And I don't want to say reinvent yourself, but is it creating content daily to stay relevant? And the reason I get to this is like talking about these different genres. Like I think nobody does it better than Diplo when it comes to reinventing yourself or just being plugged into different genres and having an ear for different music to create this new sound, or to have your own stage at Stagecoach. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, you're so right.
So my question to you is like, you have to stay with these trends, right? You're getting new music thrown at you every week from these labels, from new artists, independent artists, probably sliding in your DMs like with that one hope and dream that, oh shit, like she can play my record on the radio or get traction in the club, So how important is staying relevant, creating content to the new generations?
I think it's key for every business. I don't think just like entertainment. I think it's just the new way of life. Yeah.
So you're staying demure.
Demure, yeah. Demure. Be very mindful, okay?
Yeah. You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful.
Yeah.
That's an incredible moment for that person.
Right, Jules.
Jules. What was the?
Jules LeBron Julianne, I think is her name. Yeah, but
Julianne,
I mean, listen, the internet can change your life. We've seen it happen so many times. I think Dogface was one of the first.
Oh, that's
or
right.
like one of you remember what happened to him.
That even not just helped him, but also helped Fleetwood Mac. That song became number one on the Billboard charts. Like,
and the cranberry brand that he was drinking.
Cranberry brand, dude, for sure, 100%.
I don't even think it's about just reinventing yourself, because like that should not even be like an issue. It's just about adapting,
Exactly.
You gotta adapt. You just have to adapt.
Adapt with the times,
You gotta pivot. You gotta stay relevant. So how's your content game? I know you're gonna launch the podcast soon.
Yes.
So are you like personally like being mindful of creating content daily? I see what I did there? I see your hiking post, right?
Yeah.
I know you're super into fitness, but at the same time, it's crazy to me because like, dude, how can you be so into fitness and on point, have the discipline to wake up every single morning, and then you're flying, you're traveling, you're DJing. It's like, dude, how? Give me some of that energy.
Honestly, it's not easy, but you just have to like set your mind to it. And with the fitness part, and the eating healthier, like I've started and fallen off so many times.
Yeah.
And I think I just got to a point where I was like, man, I just want to feel really, really good and healthy. And you feel the difference from like eating healthy, drinking water, like and taking care of your gut health makes such a big difference with your energy levels.
Yeah.
You're able to knock more things out throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like the not drinking as much really helps.
For sure. That's a hard one when we're in the club.
Yeah. Just got to be mindful,
we gotta be mindful. Gotta be demure. When you're
Demure,
in the club,
yeah.
you know?
But I mean, I think that content.
It's so difficult though. I'm gonna stop you there because it's like, dude, okay,
it's so hard.
we've made it to a point in our life where we've been in this game for so long that we go to a club and I'm not trying to be spoiled or act a certain way, but most of these things are comped,
Oh
right?
my God.
It's like, oh, here's a bottle, and you're like, I'll take a bottle of water, you know? But then they look at you like, come on, fam, you know?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough to deny a drink.
Okay, you know what? Give me that thing. I'll do one. We gonna do one.
To have drinks thrown in your face literally every weekend. Oh yeah, it's so hard. I still have drinks, so I still drink. I just don't drink as much as I used to. Like instead of 10 shots, I'll have like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I also think people don't understand because when like you go to a club, let's say you're in Atlantic City or something, for most people there that are trying to party with you, it's one weekend. For you, this is every weekend.
Exactly, it adds up.
It's every
That's the
weekend.
tough part.
Totally.
Yeah, that is the crazy part. And you're like, eventually taking half a shot of tequila with a little bit of
And you don't want to
water.
be rude
Juice,
too
yeah.
because they're there to see you.
Yeah.
And so you're like, all right, I'm gonna make your weekend, have fun with you this weekend. But
Make it memorable. Yeah. But also too, like what I really worked on is like not drinking at dinner as much, not drinking at home as much. So now if I do drink, I make sure you're right. Like it's when I'm with people that, I
you
probably
have a
won't
good
get to
time
see
with.
for a long time
Right.
or ever again. And, at certain spots where I know it will make it just so much better, I guess. But just being very, very, I hate to say it, but very more mindful about when and where I drink. Yeah, and it helps. I'm not going to get on here and say I don't drink because I definitely had a drink this past weekend and a shot. But just being more mindful.
Yeah, we
Really.
got it's discipline.
Discipline,
It's
everything in moderation.
And more intentional, really.
Yeah, intentional. That's for sure. So, you've been DJing for a while. You've been grinding. You're on the radio. I've met you years ago, and I love to see where you're at. I love to see your posts. I think I hit you the other day that you had a run club or some kind of hiking club that you did for the Scam Artist. Scam Summer. And you hosted a event where, you took a group of friends and it turned into a bunch of people. Would you guys go to Runyon Canyon?
Yeah, we went to Runyon.
Went to Runyon Canyon. And, I love to see the communities you're building. I love to see you give back to the people that, check in with you and care about you. Because, we got to support each other. It's what we got. We're working really hard to now put out content, put out a podcast to show our friends stories, their success, hopefully inspire other people. We get a lot of questions, we get DMs, and it's like, I want to ask you because you're at I want to say a point in DJing, being on the radio, being at the best clubs, traveling, making a living that most people want to get to, that aspire to. And especially now, like, I want to say you're probably one of the, pioneer female DJs that people can look up to. And now it's incredible to see there's so many more female DJs out there. Killing it,
Man.
What's your take on that? Like, do you love to see it?
Big fan.
Yeah, right?
Big fan of the female DJs. Yeah.
If someone's watching, like right now, I know you've gotten DMs. We were talking about it earlier that like ask you, hey, how did you do it? Where do I start? I think now with technology too, there's a lot of opportunity to pick up I don't want to say a hobby, but pick up, the DJing world or an interest and work at it and grind it out, because I think that's something that now people forget about, is that you do got to put in the work.
Yeah.
You got to grind. It's not as easy as, just getting, some, USBs, downloading music and plugging in and just slamming records. So what would you tell someone who's watching right now, looking at you, inspired, and they're like, dude, I love Lezlee. She's talking on the mic right now. Give me that energy. Give me that mo.
I think we live in a time now where like we have the internet, like everything, we can do anything and everything right here at the in our hands. We have it right here in our phones. But put out content, have fun with it, stay consistent. And I still struggle with being consistent, but I've noticed that like when I am consistent, there's more opportunities that like come my way, Yeah. Get out there, network.
Yeah, networking
We have the internet, but you still need to get out there and show your face.
You got to pull up.
You gotta shake these hands. You gotta kiss these babies.
That's right.
That's my baby to kiss. You want all the movement. Excuse me, please.
you know, and that makes all the difference in the world.
It does.
Really
You never
does.
know. You never know what interaction you're gonna
Exactly.
have, and how that can lead into another conversation, into another, opportunity.
Yeah, you
I would-
become familiar.
I would even say networking on the internet's just as good too, because nowadays a lot of people do that also.
Yeah.
Obviously, like if you have the opportunity to go out, if you're in LA like we are, go out. But if you're in a small town, there's nothing wrong with DMing people or commenting and like being consistent with that too.
Totally. Like I was just saying, become familiar. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I know for me, if I see a certain DM or certain message comment from a certain username constantly, like, oh, I know this person looks familiar, and I tap in a little bit, whenever I can. But that makes all the difference.
And it can be also intimidating to slide into somebody's DM, even with like a question or like, hey, I love what you do, thank you. It could be intimidating. Like I'm the type of person that kind of refrained from that for a long time. But now getting more active with socials, I'm so comfortable with it. Where somebody I don't even know, I just send them like a quick note, like, "Hey, this is super dope. Thank you for posting."
Yeah.
And then they respond, and then it becomes like a new digital friendship, I guess. Somebody I've never even met physically, but it's like it's real. It's super important to network online and digitally and socials. It's like very, very.
I would
important.
say it's both, because if you're networking in person, you're probably good at not being weird.
Yeah.
But like, cause
Yeah,
some
don't be
people
weird.
Don't be weird. You could be weird online too. Like you send a DM, they don't reply. You don't reply, and they send one back like immediately, and it's like, okay, now it's like
Now you're creeping me out.
Now you're creeping me out. So there's
Don't be
ways
weird.
to go about it. Don't be weird.
Yeah,
But you
that's
could
a
DM
great
people.
point. Don't be weird. Yeah.
Be mindful.
Be mindful.
mindful.
Yeah. I mean, but staying consistent. And like I had somebody recently ask me, somebody I work with at the station, somebody on the street team, he like came into one of my sessions and he was like, how do I, book these gigs? I see you're killing it. And I'm like, well, how long you been DJing? And he said 1 year. And I'm like, bro, like the fact that you're already here in this building says a lot. You just, just
access.
Yeah, access. The hardest part is getting in the building, but now it's like, what do you do with it when you're here?
100%.
And just be cool. Be cool. Don't be
weird.
Don't be weird. Yeah. Be mindful.
Yeah.
And just relationships,
networking. I think that's a good point. Like I think now, sure. I think some old heads, not to be rude, but can find technology as a disadvantage and be rude to like some of the new guys coming up or new people that are like very creative, have maybe 10x the grind and energy to, put in the work, but technology helps them kind of advance so much faster, right?
Yeah.
And just having the technology, if you have the hustle, the grind, and you're able to also network and get out there like, this person who's on the street team who's already in the building, that's huge. I mean, sometimes you don't even realize the advantage you have of the people you're around.
Yeah.
And just not being afraid, asking questions.
Right.
Being respectful and taking that advice and actually implementing it. Because that's the worst thing is like when I meet somebody and we have like this really good conversation about where we're going and then, what they want to do and they're asking for advice and, I'm open to anybody, I don't care. Like, I'm an open book. But, then you meet them down the line again and they're asking you for the same questions and you're like, dang, bro, like you implement, execute, like that's what's holding you back more than anything is you're not running with what you should be doing today. And then you're waiting a year, you're waiting 6 months, or then now you're not even interested anymore.
Yep.
So for me, I think it's the execution part that some people just need to, it's kind of like goal setting, right? I have a date, I need to execute, is implementing that too.
Yeah, totally. But also, like, going back to the guy I work with at the station, when he came in the studio to like ask me for some quick advice, I'm not kidding you, like a week later, I had an opportunity come up. And he was the first person I thought of.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, you know what? What about that?
Yeah.
What's the phrase? Top of mind.
Yeah. Or out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, out of sight. That's really important too.
Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah. So
staying top of mind is big.
Staying top of mind. And I don't even think he realizes how like he's doing so good, but I think we get so impatient with ourselves. We want like the results now.
Well, that's the world we live in. The instant satisfaction,
instant gratification.
Because, we want that instant like. We want that post to go viral. We want, we want now.
Right.
But you still got to put in work.
Exactly.
Do you struggle with that? Is there something that you're working on that you want to happen right now, but you know you have to like
put
the work in still?
Yeah, totally. And I think I'm learning that like it's okay. It's not going to happen overnight. And if anyone should know that, it's me. Because listen, I DJ'd for like 10 years before I actually made it on the radio.
Yeah. I think most people don't know that. They just see you now and think you're like, you know, successful and this and that. And you are, but it's like, look at the hustle and the grind. What's your background? How did you first start DJing?
So I started DJing. I was a promoter first.
Okay.
And
I promoted too. That's how I got into radio. Yeah.
I was a club promoter here in LA. There weren't that many girl clubs. There was only 2. One of them was like pop music. Yeah. One of them was only Spanish. Okay. And me and my friends liked hip hop and R&B. So we're like, well, why don't we just start our own? And that's really what we did. Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
My
so you
mom
guys started your own night.
We started our own night.
That's very important to me. I'm gonna tell you why, because I'm a big fan of doing it yourself. Yeah. You know, like
you got to.
You have to. You can knock on every single door you want, but when you create your own home, your own door, and just keep building and building off of that, opportunities will come. Yep. People will start checking for you. Nobody's checking for you when you ain't doing anything.
Exactly. When you're not posting the content, how do they know if you're not posting?
What you're doing, you know? So started promoting.
Yep.
And then that led to you getting interested in DJing?
Yeah. So then I started promoting, and I did that for a few years. And I always had an interest for DJing ever since I was little. Like I always at every quinceañera, at every wedding, I always would like, you know, check out the DJ. What is he doing? How is he doing this? What does that button do?
Do you remember any of the quinceañera DJs' names?
No, I don't. They were always like family friends, you know. With the
we had a quinceañera we went to one time, and the band was called
Nueva Gente.
Nueva Gente. New people. Like, what a name.
No, the best part about it was like the drummer, he had like a drum pad and he was just sitting there, looked bored as hell, cigarette in one hand.
Just
smoking a cigarette, you know.
Best.
Playing Cristian Castro or something.
So cool. So cool.
So the quinceañera scene is obviously very important to all of our lives growing up. We all have a cousin.
Part of the culture.
A quinceañera. Part of the culture. Did you ever DJ a quinceañera?
Not when I was a teenager, no. I have DJ'd quinceañeras and weddings. Yeah.
Because if you hadn't, I was going to say we can make your dreams come true and do a quinceañera and have you DJ, you know?
We'll document the whole thing. Talk about content.
Oh my God.
What if we gave away your ability to DJ a quinceañera at a girl's quinceañera?
I'm so down.
That would be dope.
Email us. Hit us up now.
Now that I'm better, because I feel like when I first started DJing, that's what I was doing, a lot of quinceañeras and weddings, and I wasn't that good.
But it's also a different like crate of music you have to have.
Oh my God, totally.
Because it's not the same music you're gonna play at the club. It's maybe a little bit of that, like the current, records, but it's also like, I mean, in the Latino world, we got so many genres. So many genres. You're playing Caballo Dorado, right?
Into September.
Right.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
It's quite a talent to be a quinceañera
Yeah,
DJ.
it is. Props to quinceañera and wedding DJs, man.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
So the quinceañera kind of DJs, you saw them doing their thing, and then that led to what?
Yeah, that just always stayed in my mind. I always thought it was really cool what DJs did, like how they were able to like make the party pop. And so I was promoting for a few years, and then me and one of my girlfriends, we would always say that we were going to be like the female N.E.R.D.
Wow.
Neptunes.
I love that.
Yeah, that was like, that was what we always like said. Yeah. You'll be the DJ, I'll like produce and, we'll make it pop. And then it didn't work out.
Pharrell?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So who was the other half?
That era was so dope.
Who was the other half?
It was just me and her.
Who? Who's your friend?
Her name is Charlene.
Charlene.
Yeah,
you
Charlene.
still work with her now, or like?
No, she ended up becoming a teacher.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so she ended up like pursuing a different path.
Very important.
And what's that?
Very important. Path.
Very important. Yeah, she's amazing. And so basically, she had equipment DJ equipment that she never used, and she was like, "Hey, look, well, I can't like pursue this, so why don't you just come over and practice whenever you want?"
Wow.
And so she ended up booking me for her birthday party. Right?
Oh, wow.
in her backyard.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Booking me. She was just like, "You want to DJ?"
Yeah, here's $50.
Yeah, bro, I had no idea what I was doing, but I did it. And it was like one of the best nights of my life.
You have to just jump in. You have to.
Yeah, totally.
Anything.
Totally. But then I started like telling people, I would be out and I'd tell people, hey, I'm gonna learn how to DJ. I'm learning how to DJ, and I just kind of like always put it in their ear.
Yeah.
What were we saying? Top of mind.
That's right.
One girl that I told, she was a promoter.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was a promoter. I just met her. Literally a week later, hits me up and is like, hey, do you want to come DJ at my club?
Wow.
And
this was like, what, a month into you DJing?
This is like a month into me DJing,
wow.
yeah.
Just like that.
But I didn't say no. I said yes to everything.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I said yes to
to
everything. I learned how to DJ in the club. I would literally just go in and watch the DJs.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know any DJs. I didn't grow up with a group of friends that were DJs.
That's the networking part of it, right? That's like, now that you knew that you were into DJing, you were probably getting exposed to DJs.
Yep.
Then the networking started.
Right.
To fast forward, better gigs, better understanding of how DJing works, and then how did you get into radio? Because that's, for me, it's like, it was so rare that there was, female DJs representing at a major level like LA radio. How did that happen? How?
So, I mean, so how did I get into radio? Well, growing up in LA, we always had one hip hop radio station.
Yeah.
We all know Power 106. Like we all,
started.
grew up on Power. Yeah, shout out Power.
Growing up, you were either like a K rocker or a Power 106 kid.
Yeah, totally. Or right? Kiss FM.
Or Kiss FM
girly, listening to NSYNC and Britney Spears.
Yeah.
I loved all of it though. I loved all of it. Like radio was a really big part of like my childhood. I mean, I think for all of us, driving in the car with our parents, we didn't have streaming, so it was the radio, literally, and it was like 3 stations. So I always loved radio. I always loved pop culture. And I always knew like that was something that I eventually wanted to really try really hard to get into. But so after DJing for 10 years in the nightclubs and a lot of like local bars, I was at a club in Downey. I was DJing a club in Downey one night. And
shout out to Downey.
Shout out to Downey. Shout out to DB Lounge.
Was it the Acapulco at the Stonewood Mall?
No.
Well, that place is popping.
Where was that? Stonewood Mall?
It's like down the street from that spot. But
because I grew up in the Valley, San Fernando. That was
we grew up in Downey, Norwalk. So for us, like, it was funny because there's an Acapulco Mexican restaurant. And on Mondays, they have karaoke. But, dude, it's insane. They treat it like a club. Like, you have to pay to get in.
Oh, my God.
There's a line. It's like all the
Is it Margarita Mondays?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like all the tias are in there karaokeing. It's like you have to pay $10 to get in or something.
Damn.
So shout out to the Acapulco and Downey if you're still doing that.
This whole time, I was going to the wrong Acapulco.
Bro, for real. For real. So Downey, you DJ at a club in Downey.
Mm-hmm. So I'm DJing at a club in Downey one random Friday night.
Yeah.
And there was a new radio station in town, Real 92.3, that had just like popped off a few months prior.
Okay.
And I didn't know that they were there. Okay. So like we have like a few of the on-air talent that was there and like the main boss that was there. And so one of the girls that was on air, shout out to Ide. She was on Big Boy's Neighborhood.
You connected us with Ide. Yep.
She came up while I was DJing and she was like, hey, we had met years prior at an event. She came, but I didn't know she was on the radio.
Okay.
So she comes up and she's like, oh my God, it's you. I'm going to bring my boss up so he can talk to you.
Okay.
But I had no idea who her boss was because I didn't know she was on the radio.
Wow.
And so she brings up Doc Winter.
Yeah, wow.
That's Doc Winter.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
legend.
But this is like also another piece of advice that I would give to anybody that wants to like, I mean, this is just a life lesson, period. Just be cool, don't be an ass. Doesn't matter like who you are. Because she brought him up and I shook his hand and I was just like, if you guys want any drinks, here's a bar. I'm DJing, but like I had my little section.
Yeah.
So I like made them feel comfortable, and
which is why I'm telling you, it's very hard to deny a drink when you're in the club because
it's
all
in your face.
Totally. Like,
Totally. But yeah, I was like, I just kept super cool with them. And later on that night, he hands me his card.
Okay.
And I'm DJing, so I can't really like look at it and focus.
You're
but
working,
Yeah, the next day, I'm like, what the hell? It's Doc Winter.
Wow.
Whoa. Shook.
Insane.
Yeah. And so we had a few meetings and, he was, I think the thing that like he liked the most was that I was like, I wasn't an ass to them, because I didn't know them. I could have been an asshole, but I wasn't.
Which you get a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of entitlement when you're like in that DJ
A lot
booth.
of ego.
A lot of ego.
Yeah. And I think he always tells me like that was the first thing that stood out was that like we were new in town, and you made us feel like family.
Amazing.
And
weren't weird.
I wasn't weird. I was very mindful.
Don't be weird.
Be mindful.
And so that was it. It took a few months. You know, I did a few of the holiday mixes as like a guest, and then I think he liked. You know, I was very professional. I was very just interested. I would text him every now and again, hey, checking in.
Yeah.
I tried not to do it too often because I didn't want to annoy him.
Yeah.
But
you weren't being weird.
I wasn't being weird. Yeah.
That's right.
And maybe like 6 months later, I was able to lock in a full weekly on-air slot.
Wow.
So I was on Fridays, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Every
Amazing.
week. And then from there, like, I made it a point too where I was like, I'm in the building, so I have to like learn as much as I can because this is the building that I've always dreamed of being in.
You got yourself
like
there.
I would literally drive by that building on the 134 and I would always tell myself like, I'm gonna work there one day.
Hell yeah.
You went to school.
Yeah. And I did. I ended up working in that building. But you know what's crazy is I didn't realize that I was in that building until one of our music meetings. In the very beginning of like my career there, we were in a music meeting and I remember looking out of the window and I was like, yo, that's the 134 that I literally would drive by like as a kid and say, I'm going to work there one day.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, I did it.
What
that was like a moment where I'm like, it was like a pinch me moment.
Yeah, what a moment. That's amazing. Yeah, there's something special about, us having the privilege and ability to work in that media center in Burbank, that 134 when you're driving, like when I drive up to, Santa Barbara, I always go the 134. And I just love taking those 5 seconds of driving by and seeing the Disney building, seeing Power, seeing iHeart, seeing
Warner
the record
Brothers.
labels.
Warner, yeah.
In many ways it do something to me.
Right, totally. Because as a kid too, when you see all the record label marquees that were on that building, you can't help but think like, damn, who's in that building right now?
Somebody's in there right now.
Yeah, like is it Britney Spears? Is it Snoop Dogg? Who is it?
Yeah, dude, it's especially the Disney building too, like. You're like, what? Why is there a Disney building in Burbank? Like, what are they doing there?
Yeah.
And then you realize like, oh, it's Disney Animation. That's where like everything happens.
Yeah.
The
magic.
The magic.
Walt had a house in Burbank.
Yeah.
And then, dude, I think like back in the day, Disneyland was almost gonna be built in Burbank.
Oh.
And then something happened with the city. It didn't work out, and they moved it to Anaheim because whatever probably benefited them, But man, that's it. That's insane. So
yeah.
Well, man, I know you gotta go.
Yes.
I hate to see you go.
I know. I'm sorry, guys.
We'll do it again. We'll do another podcast. We'll do more, and then we'll do your podcast. But thank you so much for stopping by. I think a couple takeaways. Don't be weird.
Don't be weird.
Right?
Be very mindful.
Be very mindful. Keep grinding.
Yeah.
Post
Put the
your
content out. Yeah.
Post your content.
We'll do a part two.
Yeah, we got to do part 2.
We have to do.
My
these.
bad, guys.
Yeah.
I committed to this workout.
Again, the discipline.
But I invited people to it, so I can't like.
You have to. You're hosting. You're hosting. So shout out to the whole team. Where are you going? Talk about it.
Okay, so I'm actually going to Scam Artist is hosting a Barry's boot camp class.
Nice. Shout out to
Sujit.
Sujit.
So shout out to Sujit. He's on his health tip too.
Yeah.
I think we're all getting to the point now, to the age where we realize like we really,
it's important.
It's very important. We can't be out
your
here.
health is your wealth.
Oh my God, that part. Yeah. So.
And like you said, you get to do more when you feel good. You
feel good. You're nice and energized.
Cool.
Clear mind. Clear focus.
That.
But I'll be back for part 2 because I have questions for you guys too. You guys are, three hermanos.
I know three brothers here just kind of working and arguing every day.
Yeah.
you know how hard it is to work with family, bro. It's like it's tough. And then so we'll do part 2 and we gotta roast you too. We gotta do the Chat GPT roast. We didn't get to do it this episode.
Okay.
We'll do it soon. And we'll start working on your podcast. So stay out looking for that. It's gonna be fun. But man,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. You gotta come. You gotta be a guest.
I'll be a guest.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get some practice hikes in, and then
we gotta start.
We gotta start now. All right, everybody. Thank you.
Right, thank you for checking in.
Thank you, Lezlee.
Thank you for having me. Deuces.
200 mph.